So we will come back in Europe to talk about how SNCF Reso rose to the challenge of phasing out glyphosate. So just a few numbers. So SNCF Reso is a network of 52,000 kilometers with 15,000 trains per day. And if we talk about land, we have 34,000 hectares of track and safety pass, and a total of 110,000 hectares. So you know for a lot of you the scope of phytosanitary product use. So we use it on the platform on track and safety pass to ensure people security, fire security, and running train security. So if we take a step back in 2017, the president of SNCF decided alone to follow the commitment of Emmanuel Macron to phase out glyphosate within the 5 years. So the vegetation management department wasn't has not been consulted with that decision, so we didn't know where to go because at that time glyphosate was the only systemic weed killer on the market. Uh, we did an internal study to estimate the cost of a full mechanical treatment, and it induced a cost between 30 million to 3 or 500 million per year to use only mechanical tools. And when we did a benchmark with other European infrastructure manager, the solution brought was only long-term solution and not industrial yet. So the conclusion was that uh, we need to find a new phytosanitary project because we cannot think that we will manage the track only with mechanical tools. And today, despite the new approval, SNCF Reso will keep its commitment to not to use glyphosate and probably will be the only infrastructure manager not to use glyphosate in the future. So we will focus on two topics: the new product mix we use today to replace glyphosate, and also the replacement of the weeding train fleet, and particularly the national train fleet because it's a GEG production. So in 2017, there were only three possibilities to replace glyphosate: caprylic acid, pelargonic acid, and acetic acid. Acetic acid lead to high corrosion. Caprylic acid has a dosage which is too big to be used in a weeding train. So the only solution was pelargonic acid, but pelargonic acid alone has only 20 days of efficacy. So we have found that when we add sulfonylurea, we can we can have an efficacy between 60 and 90 days. So it's quite better. But during the approval process, it took 3 years of conversation with ministry administration, sanitary administration to get the market authorization to use this mix of product in our train. So basically, we add the market authorization for highway use when we add the first weeding train in operation. So it was a very short time to get ready to use only this project in 2022. So there are some example of our trials in 2020. So it's not really relevant, but we can see that in the control area, the vegetation is quite more developed than in the sprayed area. But when we look at an example of our production in 2022, we can see the difference because the untreated area is a is a water area, so there were no treatment ever in this area, and we can see the difference with the treated area with pelargonic acid and sulfonylurea, sulfuron in that case. So after 45 days, so we can see that the mix of product is efficient compared to no product use. So if we talk about the new material, so we renewed all our train, weeding train, so national train for main tracks and a regional train for services track or single tracks. And also we have light vehicles, which are not very used today. So all those weeding trains have the same system, so direct injection, traceability, automatic cut when the treatment is forbidden, and also a weed detection system. So national train are from G&G, and the regional train are from Novium, which is a French industry. And we have also adapted all trains with our internal team. If we talk about the treatment planning of our trains, the aim is to have two campaigns because as pelargonic acid and sulfonylurea is less effective than glyphosate, we need to have those two campaigns to get the wanted quality of the treatment. So there is a spring campaign and there is a fall campaign. And it's difficult today to ensure the two campaigns on our network for different reasons with the supply chain team. So if we have a focus on the national weeding train renewal, so basically before it was an opportunity to phase out glyphosate because the current train fleet in 2017 was from the 2000 decade. So the design was not really good to ensure security and comfort standard for workers. Um, Workers were exposed to the sprayed product because, as you can see, they put the head outside to see we if the train will run in a untreated area. And also, as you probably know, in French we love regulation, so we have a lot of regulation, and basically the system couldn't support all the data related to the big regulation we have in France. So we needed to renew the train fleet. So it was, I think, a challenge for GEG to to answer all those requirement specifications. So they also I think the biggest one was to build a 5 unit in less than 2 years. Not very easy, I think. uh, So we wanted a direct injection system compatible with pelargonic acid, which has 22 liter per hectare, while glyphosate is only 10. So this is not the same injection system to build. Um, Also, we wanted vegetation detection, but they already knew how to do it. Um, and as we have our own GIS, we wanted that the system of the train was compatible with our own GIS to allow the communication of the data between our GIS and the system of the train to be sure that the regulation, European and French, will be applied, and that we could also have a communication of the traceability between the system of the train and our own system. And also, we wanted the lowest spray drift possible. So they accepted the challenge and made it well, because this is some picture of our trains, and which is really interesting is the how reactive is the spraying system, depending on the speed of the train, to open nozzle and be able to put the right dosage with the changing speed of the train. And also we can see that the security of the worker are ensured, because this is a closed area, so there is no contact with the sprayed product. This is a little focus on our GIS and how the system work. So we have in our system we have a modelization of the untreated area. So we will integrate the data related to those untreated area in the system of the train. So thanks to that, there will be automatic cut on the untreated area, and then the spraying will come back after the exit of the area. As long as the treatment is on its way, we have the traceability record of the treatment, and then this traceability is transferred to the GIS vegetation system of SNCF Réseau, and with that we can prove to the sanitary authority that we have not treated forbidden area. Also, in 2019, the French administration introduced safety distance treatment of 5 meters to protect built area. So if you took the limit of a built area, you add 5 meters width, and you cannot treat this area. So for SNCF Réseau, it was a concern of 2,300 kilometers. So it was possible to reduce those 5 meters to 3 meters if we proved that the drift of the train was low compared to an agricultural reference. So we did that test with a French laboratory. So as you can see, we have put some Petri bottle and also a fake body to measure the drift of the treatment with colored water. And as you can see on the official document, we have a drift reduction of 90% compared to the reference. So it's a very good performance if we compare to agriculture, even more if we consider that the treatment is at 60 kilometers per hour. So it's a really good performance. There were some technical issues about the project of a train fleet renewal. So the first one is that we knew that pelargonic acid freeze around 4 degrees, but in fact we had operational incident in 2022 because it was 12 degree outside, and even if it was 12 degrees, the product froze. So there was a injection issue, and the product went on the ground. So we added a heating system in the pelargonic acid storage tank to ensure that the product never goes under 12 degrees. A second issue was the sulfonylurea granule delivery system, because we need to solve the pelargonic the sulfonylurea granule in water to then spray it, and we had some issue about the dosage put in the tank, and also the fact that the process made some dust. So the first point is solved, but the second one is currently investigated, and we will check it in 2000 this year, basically. And the third one, it's maybe an issue we don't know yet. We have observed that when the ballast slope is high, it seems that the treatment not reach the vegetation on the little part between the safety pass and the ballast. So we need in 2024 to do the same test we did with colored water for drift to be sure that all the weed is well treated with the product sprayed. And the last point of my presentation is the feedback of the 2023 production campaign. So it was a very difficult campaign for us because we can already see the first effect of climate change. So if we put apart the temperature issue of the pelargonic acid, we have seen a very variable meteorological condition during the two campaigns in spring and in fall. A big temperature difference between night and day. Sometimes we had -4 during the night, and during the day we went up to 25 or even 30 degrees. So it was very difficult, even more when we know that we only can spray between 12 and 30 degrees. Uh, During the fall campaign, we have seen very high temperature for the season. For example, it was at some days 30 degrees in October. At sometimes we also had a random big rain period, and during a rain we cannot treat. So basically, we had only 50% of production rate in 2023, and it's not a good production rate to ensure the vegetation control on our tracks. And also, we have had some supply chain staff issue, but it's more difficult to solve because it needs a conversation and with all the actors of the supply chain process. So if we look at some numbers, our trains, national trains have traveled 28,000 kilometers in 2023. They have treated only 3,600 hectares. So compared to the US, it's not very relevant. But the good point is that the surface treatment reduction, thanks to the detection, was 75%, which is more than we have planned because the first aim was 50% only. But the reality is that we can reduce the surface area treated to 75%. Thank you.